Would you like me to read this at this point?
And just one second.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming to Senior Diploma Program Parent Night at ISB. We are so happy to have you. We're going to take the first couple of minutes to set up our interpreters. And so we are offering Spanish interpretation. If you need Spanish interpretation, I am going to put the Zoom link. We would like you to join the Zoom so you can have the interpreter interpret for you. But if you are okay with English, we ask you to please stay in the YouTube live stream as it makes everything run a little smoother. And I'm going to have our Spanish interpreter say that now.
Muy buenas noches a todos. Tenemos interpretación en español disponible. Si necesita interpretación en español, por favor, reúnase a la reunión a través del enlace de Zoom que pusimos en el chat ahora.
Okay, so I am putting that in the chat right now.
Se está poniendo en el chat ahora mismo.
Okay. So just click and join the Zoom link and we'll get you set up.
Hágale clic al enlace y Zoom la programará, la listará.
Okay, and Fabio, I will have you interpret this next slide once if we have anybody who joins us afterwards.
That sounds good, of course.
So let's just give it just a minute.
That sounds good, of course.
Oh, it's Moises. All right. So I will put that into the chat again. If we have anybody, we will keep our interpreters for the next little bit. If we have anyone who needs Spanish interpretation, please join the Zoom link. Otherwise, we're going to get started with our meeting. So Moises and Fabio, if you would just stay for a few minutes to see if anybody joins us. And if no one joins in the next 10 minutes or so, then you can exit.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, all right. So we're just going to go over a few technical nuts and bolts. So we're so glad that you were able to join us via the internet. Again, we're so thankful that this happened in a time where we could do these things online. So you are watching through a YouTube live stream, and you can, if you have questions though, we are asking that you use this Padlet that I'm going to put into the chat right now. That will allow us to moderate a little bit the questions that are going on. So I will put that link into the chat. So that is there. There's a link there, and you just can type your questions into the Padlet. And I think with that, we can get started.
So thanks so much for that, Tracy, and thanks for all the setup and the tech management side of that all. I know that can be frustrating, so I appreciate it. Welcome, parents, and I'm assuming there's some students on this as well. So great to have you here tonight. I am Andrew Guilford. I'm the principal here at ISB, and look forward to sort of giving you a preview of this year and talking about some ways that we can support our seniors through their year, that we can partner on ensuring their success. I'm going to have everybody in the room introduce themselves here in a moment. And what I'm going to have them do is if they could say who they are and what their role is at ISB, how long they've been at ISB, and then what is a hope or a wish that they have for their seniors as they make it through this sort of final leg of the odyssey that we call ISB. And so it'll sound something like this. I'm Andrew Guilford. I'm a principal here. I'm the principal here at ISB. I've only been here for about 4 months. And what I hope for the seniors this year, as I see them in the hallways, one of the things that I see as they're kind of walking around together is actually a lot of laughter with each other, which shows a closeness to each other. And my wish for them is that they are able to maintain that laughter through the course of this year. And Scott, I'll pass it off to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Scott Gladney, the assistant principal at ISB. I have had the privilege of being the assistant principal for the last 10 years. I think my hope and wish for the seniors, I've got a couple actually. One is that you just all finish strong. You've had a rough patch over the middle part of your high school career, and now we're back and we're all together. I just wish that you finish strong. The second piece is, and I talked about this briefly with several of you, really leaving an impact on ISB. We've had a firm reset, and we need absolutely your leadership and your guidance to really help reset the stage of what ISB is and what it's like to be an ISB student. And so we lean heavily on our senior leaders, and all of you are senior leaders, to make that happen, because we can't do it alone. We need your help. I will pass it on to Ms. Schuff.
Hi, I'm Amy Schuff. I am your IB Diploma Program Coordinator. I am here to answer all of your questions regarding the IB Diploma Program and to support you and your students in all things IB Diploma Program and anything else. Frankly, I'm really good at lots of things beyond the IB Diploma Program, just an FYI. So this is year 11 for me. And what I want to say to this senior class is my wish for them is that they have patience with themselves and have grace with themselves and are able to cut themselves some slack when they make a mistake or when something happens. And I just hope that they have the capacity to move forward. And with that in mind, I'm going with Catherine.
Hi, everybody. I'm Catherine Hirsch. I'm one of the high school counselors, and I'm working with all students this year, last names A through L. This is my 4th year, which means I met all of you when you were little tiny 9th grade babies, and I can't believe the young adults that you are now, sitting with you and doing your college applications with you and just having conversations of your next steps. I can't believe where you all are. My hope is that you enjoy this year. You are all such planners and thinking of your next step, and I want you to be present and enjoy this year and just enjoy everything that you've created in the community at ISB. You're a really special class, and just kind of taking one day at a time. We all get a little ahead of ourselves. So just really enjoying this year, and I want to enjoy this year with all of you as well. And I'll pass it on to Tracy.
Hi, everybody. I am Tracy Meilenberg, and I am the counselor for students whose last names start with M through Z. And this is my 9th year at ISB. And it has this whole school and this class have a really special place in my heart. So I'm excited to see you back. It's really, I still am not over the fact that I get to see kids laughing and smiling and joking around every day. I had no idea how much I missed it till we were back in session. And so in that vein, my hope for the seniors this year is that they find their way back to some normalcy, that they choose the normalcy that they want, that they leave whatever they want in these last 18 months and they take whatever they learned and make the future that they want from it. So that's my hope.
So 3 sort of overall topics we want to address tonight. One is this IB Diploma Program. Here we are in the final year, and we want to make sure students who already probably have a pretty good sense of it, but parents especially have a sense of what's to come in this final year of wrapping up the IB Diploma. And then talk as part of that course registration, how that works. And by course registration, we were really talking about exam registration and what it means to qualify for these courses. And Amy will talk about that. But we also want to take this opportunity to share some things about college planning tonight. We know you're probably already into it a little ways, but it's good to have the most current information and make sure you're aware of the different ways that we're supporting your students.
Okay, so the IB Diploma program. In order to earn an IB diploma, students have to successfully complete theory of knowledge. They have to successfully complete an extended essay, and they have to successfully complete a CAS portfolio. In addition to that, they have to successfully complete 3 HL courses, and they can't earn a 2 in any of those HL classes. And so therefore, if it's 3 courses, they have to have a minimum of 12 points in those. And I'll explain all this more. And then they have to have 3 SL courses as well. So that's 6 right there. So 6 classes, TOK, extended essay, and CAS. Yes, it is possible to do 4 HLs and 2 SLs, but that's all we can do. You cannot do 5 HLs. So, and students choose what they're doing right now, this month. Okay, so let's talk about IB deadlines. It is really, really important to pay attention to the calendar. Is there a link in the chat, really? The calendar is on the ISB website. If you go to the ISB website, go to academics, click on IB Diploma Program, you'll see senior deadlines. That's your calendar. It's really critical that students are tracking these deadlines and that you're aware of their students' deadlines as well. Students must complete their IAs in order to test, and any other external assessments must be completed as well in order to test in May. So it's important that they track their deadlines. One of the biggest benefits of the IB Diploma program, of course, is time management and learning how to organize yourself as you're going through this process. So this is a big deal. An example of what I'm talking about here is, for example, English language and literature. They have to have completed the HL essay, of which I believe 9 students have yet to do that. They have to do the IA, which is an oral assessment, and that will happen in the month of January. In May of their senior year, there is an exam called Paper 1. All the exams are called papers, so it'll be Paper 1. And traditionally, you would have a Paper 2. And I intentionally left this here with a line through it because I want you to see that IBO recognizes that these seniors, this class 2022, has had a rough go, and they basically are putting kid gloves on and saying, we're not going to ask you to have to do everything that you would normally have to do. So for example, for English, no Paper 2. For psychology, no Paper 2. For biology, no Paper 3. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's just a sense of let's just relax a little bit and still be the rigorous program that they are. And they have a whole process for figuring this out. So the deadlines are the deadlines, and there's quite a few of them. And it's really important that students and you actually help students organize themselves. Because there's no Paper 2, because there's no Paper 3 in biology, because there's no, you know what I mean? Like there's no because there are fewer external assessments, the IA is actually a big deal. It's a more significant percentage of the course grade. And so it's important that students really privilege these, pay attention to these, and put energy into these. The other thing that's, I think, important to say about the internal assessments is that, in fact, it is the only thing students have total control over. I have control over what I choose to write about, what I choose to work on, how I choose to fulfill it. There's no way to control what's going to be asked of you on that exam in May. So I think IAs are a great opportunity to just give yourself an edge when it comes to getting your course grade. So I want to talk about exam registration, or actually I got into the habit of saying course registration because for the last 2 years, they weren't registering for exams, they're registering for courses. But it's really important that you have a good conversation at home about what is best for your particular child. Students have options this year in a way that they haven't seen these options in the past, and they probably won't have these options like this to this extent in the future. There are choices here. And the first choice is that they can go for an IB diploma. and they can graduate from ISB as an IB diploma candidate. It's important you remember that you do not know when you've been accepted to college, you have graduated from high school, and you don't even know if you got an IB diploma until July after high school graduation. So you're graduating high school as an IB diploma candidate. You can go for the IB diploma, and to earn that IB diploma, again, you have to have satisfactory marks on all your IB assessments. So those would be the internal assessments and anything at all that's externally assessed. You got to pass TOK, you got to pass the extended essay, and you have to have a complete CAS portfolio. An important part of IB diploma program, it's called concurrency of learning. And it means that it happens over the course of the 2 years. You can't just knock it all out of the ballpark in 1 month. So the extended essay started in December and it has continued on. And every student should have a first draft in or a draft in the month of September, and that they are getting feedback from their supervisors and turning that around into a final extended essay, which is due on November 15th or 16th, depending upon which is the B day. I think it's the 16th. Not everybody has an extended essay in. So that's a good conversation to have with your student about, are you going to do this? Or are you not going to do it? What's your plan here? And just that is you're not registering as an IB diploma candidate if you don't have that draft in. CAS. Have your students been putting evidence and of experiences and reflections on experiences in ManageBack for the past year? Are they continuing to do so? They need to have a complete and fulfilled CAS portfolio by March. And again, you can't knock it all out in 1 month. It's supposed to be September, October, all 18 months of high school. So that's important. 9 seniors have yet to turn in the required English essay. So for anyone thinking, yeah, I'm going to go for the full IB diploma program, ask your student, have they turned in the HL written essay? Because that is a requirement in order to test in English. Another option for students is not IB diploma candidacy, but course candidacy, IB course candidacy. And this is the standard approach in most high schools in the United States. And this is where students pick and choose which courses they're going to register for and then really go for it in those particular courses. They don't drop other courses, but it just means I'm not testing in everything. I'm going to test in these 3 classes or these 4 classes because I think I can do really, really well in those courses. And I'm just going to the pressure of all 6 and the whole program is too much. So this is a way I'm going to be successful at ISB as a senior. For students who are course candidates, they no longer have to do extended essay and they no longer have to do CAS. So that just might be something off their shoulders, off their back that will enable them to move forward well. So that's another option. We have students who I'm sure will test in all 6 things and still not do an extended essay or CAS. And that's fine too. Students choose what makes sense for them. A third choice is that they register for nothing. They don't do any registration for any courses. Instead, they really just focus on high school graduation. There's no extended essay, there's no CAS, they're still in their classes, and that's fine. Now, for any student who chooses to be a course candidate or to not be a candidate at all, we are going to be asking you to please acknowledge that this is fine with you by completing a short form that will be sent to you from your student's counselor. We want to make sure that the students who are like, get me out of here, I want to drop this or I want to drop that, that you are on the same page as your student. So I want to talk a little bit about this HLSL thing. So HL stands for higher level, and it's for sure 2 years of courses. And SL stands for standard level. And in some schools, it's a 1-year experience, but at ISB, all of our courses are 2 years long. It's really important to think about, is this child going to college? where are they going to college? And what is this particular college's IB policy? And you can look for this by just Googling whatever college, Indiana University, IB policy, and boom, you will get right there exactly what Indiana University is interested in when it comes to giving credit for your IB work. So some schools will take nothing. Some schools will give you credit for HLs only, and you better be getting a 6 in those. And some schools will give you credit for any course with a 4 or higher. And those schools are the state of Oregon. All the public universities and colleges in Oregon, if you can get a 4 or higher, and just so you know, a 4 correlates to probably a high C, low B, like right in there. If your student is in that line, like high C, low B, then they can earn 4 to 6 credits for every SL and 9 to 12 credits for every HL. And it can be real money. That can be real money. At the University of Oregon, 1 credit is maybe $275. At Oregon State, 1 credit is about $300. So just to kind of gauge this, 1 history course at the University of Oregon is 4 credits. So that's, what do we look at? That's $1,000 plus more than $1,000 for that 1 course at University of Oregon. What if your student can earn enough credit that they don't have to do that? It is possible. Someplace, I hear about it all the time, where students start as a sophomore in college. I mean, that's a lot of money savings. So to make a decision about, should I HL or should I SL? Some of our courses are only offered HL. Some of them are only offered SL, and some of them are offered both SL and HL. Now remember, you can't get a 2 in an HL. So you got to look at, what are my strengths? What can I do here? Pay attention to your college. Some of them, if they're only going for HLs, then you're going to put your money into your HLs, right? You can pick and choose, and you just kind of want to strategize and think, how do I want to approach this? And I think the main tip I would say is, students should really talk to their teachers. So what do you think? Do you think I should HL? Do you think I should SL? What should I register for? Should I register? You know, I just think it's an important conversation that students should be having with teachers. So this is an example of what I was talking about. If you go to Oregon State University and you type in IB Diploma Program or IB credits, this is the kind of thing that you'll see. So if you can earn a 4 in biology, excuse me, at the SL level, you're going to get 4 credits, but at the HL level, you can get 12 credits. So this is 1 course. This is 3 courses. So it becomes a big difference here. So again, this is the deal at our school, what we offer. You can see what the HLs are, what the SLs are, and you can see where you have a choice. You have a choice in visual arts, you have a choice in history, and you have a choice in biology. Now, you don't have a choice in math, because if you are in HL math, that is a different curriculum than SL math, which is a different curriculum than the other SL math. So students know which math they're in, and it's a particular curriculum. So that's why that choice doesn't exist there. So it's really important that students choose their own adventure. I mean, really, we're good either way. This has been a heck of a couple years, and it's important that students and you look into your hearts and figure out what works for your family and what works for your students at this point in time. It's been a crazy 2 years, and so students are in different places, and I think it's important to recognize that we can't expect everyone to be in the same place. And I think it's really important that everyone recognize, if you register for the entire program, all the courses, everything, or if you register in nothing, you're still getting a fantastic education at the International School of Beaverton, ranked #1 in the state of Oregon. I mean, it's a really international baccalaureate coursework. Even if you don't do some of these assessments, sets you up well for what's coming, regardless of whether you register for the courses or not. Okay, so let's talk specifically about registration. Every course, we are charged $119 from IB. So the state of Oregon, though, really values this IB stuff, and they say, we're going to give every single student $25 towards this fee. So each student then at ISB or anywhere in the state of Oregon that's taking an IB course pays $94 for that course. If you register for one course, if you register for 6 courses, you got to pay one-time cost $8 for postage. The month of May, we're shipping a lot of things. It's a lot of mailing. So it gets quite expensive and we can't pay for that. So again, it's $94 out of your pocket, but we must pay $119. Okay, now, if you qualify for the federal free reduced meal program, and that's through Nutrition Services at BSD, it's a simple link that you click on, and it's a pretty easy process to go through the paperwork for. There's no charge at all. You don't have to pay postage. You don't have to pay registration fees. Your entire experience is covered. The thing is, though, I am forbidden to ask for anyone's status, but students can share. And in fact, they have to share. If you want to not have to pay anything, then students have to let me know. And you can fill out a permission to share form, and it really should be done ASAP. And these forms are on Canvas in an announcement that I sent to all seniors, and I can send them to you directly. And they're on the nutrition services. They're there in the nutrition services part of the Beaverton School District, but students must communicate the status with me. And once it's communicated, then I let our bookkeeper, Mrs. Meyer, know exactly what is owed. So how much is this really going to cost at the end of the day? If you register for a full diploma program, that's $572. If you register for one course, it's $102. And you can see all the other numbers there. Now, an option, let me just kind of go back for a second. This is quite a bit of money, and it's quite a bit of money to pay all at one time. So I just want to put out something to all families, and that is that if you do not qualify for free and reduced meal program, and paying $572 next week is too much, then you can come talk to me. Students should come talk to me, or if a parent wants to email me, that's fine. Either way, someone should communicate with me, and I can set up an installment plan for you. Well, we will do 1/3 now, 1/3 in January or February, or January or December, and then 1/3 in February, probably something like that. We want it really done by the end of February. But if that's helpful, I can work with you and figure that out with Mrs. Meyer, our bookkeeper. Now, some people don't qualify for free and reduced meal program. And this amount of money they've been here since 6th grade, they've been here since 9th grade, for however long, this is still going to be an untenable amount of money. In the past, we've been able to put out the possibility of scholarshiping some students for a partial fee. We can't do that this year. Right now, we don't have the money. We literally, based on what happened last year with fees, and it got crazy with IB, we're starting from a blank slate. So we would be so grateful if anybody would be interested in donating money towards somebody else's IB course registration. If you find yourself in the position of supporting students at our school towards IB course registration, that would be fantastic. On the online payment system, you just select IB donation, and then you can put in any amount at all. I mean, we'll take $10, we'll take $6,000, whatever you want, we're willing to take it. And we would be so grateful. I know for sure there's at least 2 or 3 students who have some need and who don't qualify for free and reduced lunch. So just wanted to put that out there. So you can pay, there's my installment plan thing, my little tip there. You can pay via a credit card. through the BSD online payment system. You can also mail a check or have your student bring a check to ISB. You just make the check out to ISB. And in that memo line in the bottom left part of the check, you write IB registration or IB course registration. You can also bring cash in to Miss Meyer as well. Either way, so one way is online credit card and the other two ways check or cash. And right there at the front office, and she'll take it for you. I do want to remind you, all fees must be paid to graduate. This is how you find the online payment system. If you haven't done this yet, you go to the Beaverton School District Families, Parent Apps and Resources, and it's right here. And you make a login for yourself, and that's where you find it. You will also find that you have to pay postage separately. So postage is one payment. The exam fees, however many you say how many exams or how many courses you're registering for. And then of course you've got the donation place. So yeah, I just said that. Fantastic. Okay, so again, I just want to make it clear, students really should talk with their teachers. They should talk with their counselors, and they should talk with me about if there's any ambiguity, if they're not sure, if they're ambivalent about what do I want to do here. Students don't have to decide now, but they have to hurry up. You have a little bit of time. Everything is due October 25th, and today is October 12th. So we have just a little less than 2 weeks to make a decision here, and all exam fees must be paid by October 25th. Unless I've heard something different. Okay, so what do students do to register? And I've gone through this with the entire senior class, so they should know how to do it. And they have their own PowerPoint, which is based on this, but more detailed. Students register through our program called, it's an online managed baccalaureate program. It's called Managed Bac, and they have to do it really, really carefully. And just if you want to supervise that, that's fine. If you want to leave them to it, that's fine too. And there's also a Google form that they have to fill out. And again, all of this is on Canvas on the class of 2022's Canvas page. They should find it all there. I've also put it into a Canvas announcement. All the links are there. They need to do both things though, because I double check it to make sure. I will put all of that information from Managed Bac and the Google form. I will put it into the IB on October 26th. I will just like whoosh it in. And then I will print out every single student's whatever they chose to do. And then I will bring it to them, and they and you, both of you, I'm going to ask for 2 signatures. You have to confirm that that information is correct. You get a few days to do it. It's all going to happen. Like I'm going to get it to you October 27th, ask for it. And then if there's a mistake, correct it, circle it, tell me what it's supposed to say. And I think the biggest thing I want you to really be aware of is the very large all caps letters there in red. If the fees are not paid by October 25th, I'm not going to push the button for them. I will not register them unless you've spoken with me about an installment plan or something else. So please just communicate with me. I will do everything I can to support your student in getting this done. Okay, so things to pay attention to that I think are really important to know is that if you register and you pay money and you drop that course, and you say, you know what, just kidding, I got to get out of this psychology class, get me out of here. You can drop that course and get your money back before January 8th. You get that whole $94 back, okay? No problem, you get the money back. If you do not communicate with me before then, I can drop you, but you won't get the money back. So that's really important. Now, another important thing to pay attention to is this. If a student registers for a course and does not drop that course before January 8th, and then they end up not doing a required IB assessment, like for example, they don't do the Japanese oral exam, well, then they cannot sit for the exam and they can't get the money back. Additionally, remember, it's $119. The state of Oregon will not give us that $25. So not only can they not test and stay in that, well, they can stay in the class, but they can't test. but they're going to owe that $25 as well. So hopefully that makes sense to people. So people need to know what their plans are clearly, and then you get a little leeway, little elbow room up until just after winter vacation. And then they're going to have to really go for it and try. Now, if a student makes a mistake with the registration, they register for the wrong math class, or it's HL/SL mistake or something like that, I will need to drop it, which is not an issue, but to add a course costs money, a lot of money after November 15th. So really have your students pay attention to what their math course is, what their language B level is, and that's Spanish, Japanese, or Chinese, etc. Okay, hopefully this is clear. Okay, so I think, Scott, this is you.
Yeah, I just want to jump in and emphasize, or re-emphasize, I guess, that this is a conversation with the students. They're the ones doing the heavy lifting here. So it's going to be really ultimately their own choice as to what they can handle, because they're going to ultimately be the ones doing the work. Regardless of whether kids decide to be full IB diploma candidates, or they just want to be course candidates, or they just want to graduate high school. The path that they've gone on, and it's already been emphasized by Amy, by Ms. Schuff, excuse me, is that they are going to be well prepared for their next steps, regardless what those next steps are. I truly believe that that they will be successful regardless. But listen to the students, and sometimes they get caught up, comparing to one another. This is an individual decision. This is not, I'm going to compare myself to my neighbor, but truly, what am I capable of, and what am I willing to do the work?
We have a couple of questions.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yeah, in there that relate to IB. So before we sort of shift to the college part, one person is asking, if you actually fail one of your IB exams, which I think is get less than a 3, can you still earn the full IB diploma?
So, do keep in mind that each course is made up of multiple assessments. So to fail all of the assessments, all 3 assessments, would be unusual. If you get less than a 4, so a 4 is quote unquote passing, it's an average of the courses. So if you take out the HLs where you can't earn a 2, you have to earn a 3. If you get a 3 or higher, then you're still in the game. Because let's say you get a 3 in your weak class, but you get a 6 in a strong class, it balances out and you're still right where you need to be to get that IB diploma. But if it so happens your weak class is an HL and you get a 2, you could have 28 points and not have an IB diploma because you got a 2 in one of your HLs. So hopefully that makes sense.
And then another question, and this is kind of a segue into the college part that I know we're going into next. If we have students who are applying to European schools and universities, do they need the full IB diploma, or can they only just be course candidates?
I can take that one if you would like. International schools place a higher emphasis on the IB diploma, as opposed to most US universities are looking at, was the student enrolled in the IB program. International universities are looking at your point score on the IB exams. And so many overseas universities will give you what's called a conditional offer. They'll say you're accepted to this school or this program. Usually overseas, you're applying to a program within a school. And they'll say, if you get 32 points on your diploma, and they might even specify you need 32 points overall and a 6 in biology to get into this particular program. So definitely the overall IB diploma is more important for overseas universities. For US universities, you're going to be accepted or denied before you even know if you passed the full diploma.
Okay, are we ready to move on to the next part? Okay, so of course we needed a quote to start our counseling feel good section. we're going to be talking about college planning, but especially after that whole first part, I want everyone to families to take a breath and really think about how far your student has come, that they are seniors, they've made it this far, even with what a year we had last year. So I think it's just important we are so future focused to really think about how far that we've come over the last couple of years, how far these students have come. So we are going to talk about, we have met with all of our seniors at the end of their junior year. And Meilenberg and I have been meeting with seniors nonstop already because our students are on it, applying early action, wanting to talk about their next steps. We've already been into senior English classes and working on essays. So it's only October, we have the ball rolling. So all of this information lives in the senior class Canvas page. So the class of 2022, and there's a link to the senior college handbook. And that is a presentation that Ms. Meilenberg and I gave to all of the seniors. And there's a really nice table of contents with links to all the information you could possibly want on college. That's a good resource if you need more information after this presentation. And I'll pass it to Ms. Meilenberg for this slide.
Darn it, I thought I was going to get through the whole thing without forgetting to unmute. We already, like Ms. Hirsch said, we've already really been meeting with a lot of seniors. We have a You Can Book Me page on their ISB class of 2022 Canvas page. And right at the top, you can book an appointment with your counselor, and a lot of students have been taking advantage of that. I just put the link to the Senior College Information Handbook into the chat on the YouTube Live. Like Ms. Hirsch said, it has tons of information. There'll be a slide later on for the BSD Senior College Information Week, which is happening next week. There's going to be virtual sessions on public and private colleges, writing the college essay, financial aid and scholarships, applying to art schools. So please check that out. I'll be there too. It should be a good time. And then there is the NACAC virtual college fair coming up at the end of October and November. And I'll put this link into the chat as well.
So what are college admission counselors looking at? We've reviewed this with all the seniors, but just to give a rundown of what typically makes up the whole college application. It's the main application. Most of our students are using the Common App. So we've been working with students to get that rolling. It's basically a portal with one main application, and many schools accept that application. Schools are also looking at official transcripts, which me and Ms. Meilenberg actually upload and send on the Common App. Some schools are looking for test scores still. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Some schools are going test optional. They're looking at extracurriculars. Typically around 2 letters of recommendation. Most of our students are asking a teacher, and then me and Ms. Meilenberg do a counselor recommendation, and then the college essay, which our students have already, most have completed because they started working on them in English class and have gotten feedback from their English teacher and me and Ms. Meilenberg.
All right, so the FAFSA, which stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, which is how you get financial aid, scholarships and loans through the federal government, has opened on October 1st. So you'll use your 2020 taxes to apply for the FAFSA. Please make sure that you are choosing, we've already had a couple of students who submitted their FAFSA for 2021, 22. Make sure that you're selecting 2022, 23, the year that they will be starting school. and it's really important to submit that, even if you don't think that you'll qualify for any financial aid, because many colleges use it for scholarships and scholarship information, and it's a requirement. If you are a non-citizen, there is an Oregon financial aid application called the ORSA that you're able to fill out. And you can use either the FAFSA or the ORSA for the Oregon Promise, which is 2 years of tuition-free community college within the state of Oregon for students who have a GPA of a 2.5 or higher.
So test scores, the SAT and ACT, as many of you know, these have been canceled, rescheduled, all sorts of things because of the pandemic. So a lot of schools have gone test optional. In that handbook that we talked about that will be on the Canvas page, we do have a link, Fair Test, that will tell you all the schools that are test optional. There are some of the more rigorous, more competitive schools that are still requiring SATs or ACTs. I did talk to an admission counselor from Georgetown, and they advise to still apply, even if you don't have test scores, and they will provide a form to fill out to just explain why you were unable to take the exam. I think most schools understand what we've all been through, especially last year, and how that's impacted students. So when in doubt, you can reach out to the admission counselor. If you are having trouble getting in contact with the admission counselor, I'm really good at annoying them till they answer me. So reach out to me or Ms. Weilenberg so we can get you that information.
All right, we've already had a lot of students ask for recommendation letters. The most important thing for this is that we need time. There are always students who come the day before something is due, and it's hard to keep a smile on your face as you say, when is that due date again for that letter of recommendation? So please make sure that your students are planning ahead. A couple of things they want to ask the teacher in advance if they can write them a positive letter of recommendation. And then we have a form that they fill out called the letter of recommendation request form, and it provides the teacher with information about the student and kind of jogs their memory about their time in their class. There's also a section with questions that they answer for counselors, because we usually have to write a letter of recommendation as well. All of this can be found in that senior college handbook that I linked into the chat.
So just a little information on the Common App. This is the application that most students are using. A lot of schools use this application. So like I said, most seniors who have met with us have already started this application. There's Common App. There's also something called the Coalition. So students are using those two or using the school specific application. Just make sure most of our students know that they need to add me or Ms. Weilenberg and also invite recommenders. So they just want to be making sure that they know how to do that. And like Ms. Weilenberg said, they can book an appointment with us and they can pull up their Common App portal and we can walk them through that if they are having any issues. But this is how we'll send most letters of recommendation, transcripts, and counselor forms.
One other thing I want to say about the Common App has a YouTube channel that is fantastic and really explains anything that you can't figure out how to do on the Common App. Check out the YouTube channel and they have it all there. Okay, but college visits are virtual again this year. The difference between this year and last year, however, is that we have both college visits coming for Beaverton School District as a whole. And those are being hosted by all the college and career specialists in the district. And so there is a calendar for that. But we also have college reps virtually visiting ISB as well, and specifically for our students. Both of those calendars can be found on the ISB Canvas page. And it's really good to try to attend those visits if you're interested in one of those schools, because the admissions officer who visits us is usually the admissions officer who will be evaluating the student's application. So it gives them a chance to get to know them a little bit, ask questions, and that get the email address even of the person who is responsible for their application. So we really encourage students to attend those. You want me to do this one too? So this is Senior College Information Week. I sent out a Parent Square message about this last week, and I'm sure I'll do a reminder at the end of this week. I'm sorry for all those Parent Square text messages that you're getting. But these are the upcoming evening events that will be hosted by the district college and career specialists. We've invited professionals from around the community, admissions officers at local colleges, financial aid experts to come and talk about these topics: financial aid, scholarships, art schools, public and private universities, community college, and Oregon Promise. And then we have someone coming to talk about how to write the college essay, which all of our ISB students should be well prepared because they've already done it in English class.
And I just want to add with financial aid, understanding the FAFSA and financial aid help, I just want to say there's a lot of free help. If parents or families have questions, they can always reach out. Even the financial aid office at PCC, even if your student is not going there, they've been super helpful answering questions, or you can reach out to me and Ms. Meilenberg. But I know there's a lot of questions on there that can sometimes that families get hung up on and just need answers specific to their family situation. And just a reminder, and we say this to all of our students, all of our students are in the full IB diploma program. They can handle the application process. It is nothing in comparison to everything that they've already done. It just has many steps. We are there to help along the way. We keep telling students it's an ongoing, conversation and meeting. Any questions they have, to email us, make appointments, and parents, if you have any questions, reach out to us. But the best thing is just keeping the communication open and staying organized.
There's a question in the chat right now about requesting and ordering transcripts and ensuring those get sent off to the correct schools in the correct timely manner.
So if the students are using the common application, once they add me or Ms. Meilenberg, they'll add their counselor. We can see every school that they apply to with their deadlines, and we will make sure an official transcript is actually sent through Common App. If a student is using the coalition or a college-specific application, there's usually a place where they add us as well, where we can send an official transcript. There's a couple schools where students will use a transcript request form, which most students we've already shared where that's located. It's also in that college handbook.
So go ahead. I'm not seeing other questions in the chat right now around college stuff.
And just a reminder, the breakdown did change this year. But obviously, me and Ms. Meilenberg, we're there to support all seniors. So if they can't get a hold of one of us, we support all the seniors. Any students can make an appointment with us anytime. We do have a booking link in our emails. So once a student emails us, they can set up a time to meet with us. We're also out at lunches and available after school.
All right, I'm going to put the link to the Padlet into the YouTube live chat one more time, just in case you have other questions. We are happy to answer any of them now, but again, we are more than welcome to, or more than happy to answer any of your questions via email or give us a call. If you have any questions on this process, we know that it's can be kind of confusing, especially your first time around.
Can I share where the calendar is on the BSD website?
Yeah, Andrew put it into
Yeah, I put directions on the
Okay.
Padlet, but I think if you want to share your screen, Amy, if you can, and then
Yeah.
show how to navigate to that, that might be helpful.
Yeah, so hold on. So here's the BSD. Look at how cool that peace sign is. I go to academics and then I go to IB diploma program. And then you can see senior IB diploma deadlines. There they are. So we are, the final HL English essay was due October 4th.
All right. I don't think I'm seeing any more questions. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. And as I said, I said this in our junior meeting just a few minutes ago, I think as we go through these next few months, we'll be asking you whether this is a good format for accessing these nights, even when it's not required by the state. And so, or if we might do a combo of some in person and some via YouTube Live. So we really appreciate all of you, and we look forward to working with all of you as your seniors go through their last year of K-12 education. So thank you so much for being here.
October 25th is our deadline. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sorry, there's one more question on the the link. I said, are there resources available for us to navigate for both national and international scholarships and funding? So for national scholarships, there are some links in that senior handbook. International scholarships are a lot trickier. And so, you know, I think that would be a good conversation to have with your counselor, and we can talk about it, but it's going to be kind of exploring together on how to find international scholarships.
And just to add to that too, in terms of financial aid, that's usually specific to the school abroad. So that would be something that me or Ms. Meilenberg can help navigate to see if some schools will even maybe look at your FAFSA. So that's something that we can talk about if you let us know specific schools you're applying to.
Okay, and then someone said, can you put the links into the YouTube live chat into an announcement for parents and seniors? Some people are on Chromebook and can't access the chat. Yes, I will. I can put that into an announcement. I will work on that tomorrow. Okay, and I think that we got all of the questions on here. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to working with you. Take care.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.